Hello everyone, welcome to KDI Alumni Interview session. I'm Kartika, and today we'll be having a chat with our fellow KDIS alumni, Olabanji Samuel Ogunjobi from Belize. So Samuel is here already with us. How are you, Samuel, today?
I'm doing very well, Kartika. Very good to meet you and very good to be speaking with you.
Oh, that's very good to hear. So first of all, I would like you to briefly introduce yourself, and including what was your major in KDI School and what was your present and past occupation before and after joining KDI School?
All right, that's good. Well, as you rightly introduced me, I am Olabanji Ogunjobi. Everybody calls me Samuel in KDI, I guess because that's easier. I enrolled in KDI in 2018 as an MPP student. Obviously, before I came to KDI, I was working with where I am currently working, which is the Director General for Foreign Trade of Belize as a trade economist. I was responsible for then the implementation of the Caribbean agreement with the EU. At the same time, I was working on the third trade policy review of Belize with the WTO. And then obviously, subsequently, I came to KDI School. And after the KDI School, I joined the WTO for a year as a young professional. I worked in the development division, where we worked on a myriad of issues that has to do with international trade and development. And in particular, also the trade-related aspects of the Sustainable Development Goals. And subsequently, after my service in Geneva with the WTO, I returned back to Belize with the same directorate, where I am now leading WTO work and also assisting with ongoing negotiations with Belize's neighboring country like Guatemala and Mexico. So that's pretty much the before KDI and after KDI.
Okay, that's very, very interesting to hear. And you mentioned that you were enrolled in MPP program in KDI School. What were the things that makes you consider choosing MPP program, and especially what makes you decide to apply to KDI School at that time?
Well, I think we should go with the last one first on what made me apply to KDI School. I think KDI had been on my mind for quite a bit. I think I was in my final year in university. I think this would be 2013 or so. And I had seen the brochure of the school in my school lobby. And I think I'd liked the program. And I'd always been in international trade. So the concentration on trade and industrial policy was fascinating. So it was at the back burner. And I think when I started working and I wanted to do my graduate program, it made sense to look at KDI, but for not just because the program was nice, but there were also other reasons. One of them was the fact that Korea is one of the few countries that developed on the back of international trade, export-oriented and outward-looking policies.
Right.
One of the promotional materials was that most of the people or most of the professors who were responsible for the advising on those policy issues were lecturers were professors at the KDI School. So it made sense for me to be like, well, why not? We're trying to also develop and expand trade and boost exports in Belize. So that was why. And why NPP, it had the trade and industrial policy concentration. So which is, it made it very easy. Right. And since I wanted to stay in that line. Yeah.
So actually, I'm also enrolled in the MPP program and also thinking about choosing trade and industrial as my concentration. I think we're on the same page. So could you tell me what was the most memorable things you had in KDI School, including what kind of courses or any project that you had that was memorable to you?
I think evidently all my WTO courses were very memorable, particularly those that were taught by Professor Sherzod. And I also took a class by a professor who used to be Korea's former ambassador to the WTO. I taught a number of courses which were in line with contemporary international trade topics. I also did the quantitative courses by Professor Kim Jong-sok. Then as well, I did enjoy the field trips that the school offered, particularly the Euro-Asia Summer School, where myself and colleagues were able to go to Belgium on a summer study, and that was also very nice and very eye-opening into development issues that the school teaches. Yeah.
Oh, that's a lot of things that you experienced here while you were doing this study. I'm kind of envious of you, actually. Okay, so moving on to the next question. Earlier you mentioned about your past and current occupation. How does going to graduate school and getting a degree from KDI School help you to join the WTO Young Professional Program and also your current job?
Well, I mean, if we did look at the requirements for the WTO YP program requires you to have a graduate degree. I got my graduate degree from the KDI, so that made me obviously qualified. But indeed, as well, you have to look at the quality of knowledge you get from the school and the practicality of that knowledge, or should I say the application of it to the real world issue that allows you to speak to things, because evidently you would have to go through rigorous selection process. And that was very important.
Right.
And then also transitioning into this job, I'm having to use some of the things that I learned in my quantitative class, in my industrial policy class, to be able to advise the government of Belize in making its numerous trade policy decisions at the moment. So I think the impact of the school and the knowledge that we gathered while there cannot really be overemphasized.
Right, I do agree with you on that point. So let's talk a bit more about your experience in WTO. Could you explain what kind of organization is WTO and what kind of program is WTO Young Professional Program?
I worked in the development division, and I worked particularly in the development policy unit. And the responsibility of the unit is really to ensure that it researches on topics that intersects with the sustainable development goals. So I got to work at a number of publications that were published by the division. So in terms of getting into the program, when it's very competitive, I think I remember during my set or my course, there were about I think 3,500 applicants, and
that's
I think about 14 of us were selected. So the acceptance rate is really less than 1%. So. But interestingly, I should tell you that our colleague who also got into the program after myself, the application during their set was about 7,000, and she's one of the 12 that was selected. So it does again speak to the quality of the kind of education we get in school. But I mean, it's a good program to get exposure into the multilateral trading system, to learn more from the world best when it comes to these things, and to also expand your network and to make you more competitive, and gives you a very solid foundation for your career in international trade.
Oh my God, the number of applicants sounds scary, but yeah, you managed to do that. That means you're a wonderful person, Samuel, I think.
So I hope so.
You are from Belize, right, which is a beautiful country in Central America. But maybe there are our viewers who doesn't really know much about Belize. So could you tell us more about your home country and what is special about Belize?
Everything is special about Belize. I like to say that my country is the most beautiful country in the world. We have one very interesting fact is that, after Australia, we have the second largest barrier reef in the world. We also have a very fantastic ecotourism industry. So in other words, we have a very niche tourism product, which is has to do with like rainforest and very, very pristine stuff. And we are also a member of the Commonwealth. We still have the Queen as our head of state. We're a very small country. We're the only English-speaking country in Central America. We are also a member of the CARICOM community. So we are very multi-ethnic. We have people here who speak Spanish. We have people here who speak English. And we are also, proud to be home to the Mayan civilization from the west of the country, and also the north of the country in terms of the Yucatan Peninsula between Mexico and Belize. So it's a melting pot of so many beautiful things.
Oh, that's really interesting to hear. I wish I could visit Belize one day. Okay. Could you tell us what is your hope or wish for the trade sector or global trade, and what kind of improvement that you wish could happen in the next future?
Obviously, in the last couple of years, the WTO as the global body for international trade has been going through its fair amount of challenges, and my hope is that at least the negotiating function of the WTO is resuscitated, and also that the dispute settlement system is resuscitated as well, so the members can settle disputes and get on with the business of global recovery. So that is my wish, and I hope that as we even move towards the 12th Ministerial Conference for the WTO, it's really up to the members of that organization to ensure that that happens. But again, as a trade professional, that is one desire that I have.
Right. Oh my God, that's such a beautiful wish. As a person who also currently learning about trade industrial, I learned a lot today from you. I wish I have you here to help me with all my course, but yeah. Okay, so this is last question, but do you have any kind of like words or advice to our current KDI student or prospective students?
Well, to prospective students, you should go to KDI. There is so much opportunity, so many things to learn, so much network to build at the KDI School. I think I always refer to my 3 years in South Korea and my 2 years in KDI as one of the best times of my life. I think I learned a lot there. To current students, I'd say, have fun. I know there's a lot of study, but have fun, network, make a lot of friends, because they're gonna be with you for the rest of your life in some form or way. I mean, the network that KDI really gives you is something I've never seen before anywhere in the world. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I do agree with you. And thank you very much for your great advice. I think we learned a lot from you today. And yeah, I believe it will be very useful as well to our students or anyone out there who are watching this video later who want to follow similar path with you. Okay, thank you very much, Samuel. So that's wrap up our interview session today. And again, thank you very much for joining us. I wish I could meet you again in another chance in the future. So yeah, thank you very much, Samuel.
Thank you very much. It was very, very good to speak with you. I wish you well. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Stay healthy.